are now tuned into Somewhere in the Middle with Soonie and Mo.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay.
Hey, Don on the beat.
I got so many ups.
Everywhere I go, I
got so many ups.
so many ups.
I know they plotting against me. I know it's hate, they wanna kill me, but please don't tempt me, cause I got so many glocks. Hey, ain't none of them empty. Jesus said they would hate me too. That's how I know it's envy. I got so many ups.
What's up? Soonie,
Popping out. Huh?
guess what?
Chicken butt. It's like what?
You know how we were talking about Nostradamus before you hit the play?
Yeah.
Bro,
What?
I found a picture of Nostradamus. He's black.
I look like a Chinaman.
So, dude, Negro Damas is not that far off.
Why? How come you'll say Negro but won't say nigga?
Because
The
it's
same
not.
thing.
That's not what they call it on the show, Soonie. Because they had him on a primetime show. They couldn't call him that. They called him Negro Damas. Okay, guys, that is a sneak peek of what's to come in the show. Okay, just so you know, Mo is about to do a Nostradamus. Nostradamus. How'd you say it, Sootie?
Nostradamus. That's what I thought it was. I said, who the fuck is Nostradamus? I don't know who she talking about. Who
It's
is that?
Nostradamus. We're about to do a Nostradamus education session, and there's a reason, because we're going to talk about World War III. What's up, Jacqueline? Everybody say what's up in the comments box. Give this video a like. Give this video a share. We are only on for an hour today because Soonie got places to go and people to see.
And things to do. All right.
So we're going to move fast today. We're going to move fast. Okay. So let me just go over the topics really quick, and then we can get into some like funny stuff really quick, and then we'll slide on into the topics. All right. So not in any type of order. What's up, Michelle? Not in any type of order. We're going to be talking about Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk made what I think and Soonie thinks is probably the most ignorant statement I have heard. And I'm really baffled by people who are defending what he's saying, even if you look at it in the context of what he said it in.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Now, Jerron, if you're listening, if you guys watched last week's show, Jerron was on last week. Good news. He's going to be joining us every other Friday. Now, not this Friday, obviously, but next Friday, he's going to be joining us. I'm sorry, not next Friday, next show that we do, which will be a Tuesday, not next week. We'll explain, okay? But there's going to be a show that just me and Jerron do, and me and Jerron are also going to talk about this particular Charlie Kirk topic because he wanted to talk about it. So we'll revisit it. I'm going to play what Soonie's comments were so he can react to it as if Soonie were here on what she thought about it. But it's just going to be me and Jerron for that show because Soonie's going to be in the mountains, okay? But we'll play all the clips and stuff for you guys so you guys can see all that. Another person that I felt made kind of a dumb statement was Vivek
Ramaswamy. Child support.
Child support, man. He made a crazy statement on child support. And when I heard, oh no, but that's why I'm saying this statement. You guys are going to hear the statement, and I want to know what you guys think about the statement. But I thought the statement was dumb, and I was like, bro, you ain't gonna get no likes with that type of statement.
She ain't gonna. I mean, I don't know.
Think?
There's some people who are like, I get what he's saying.
No, I don't even see how that's going to work. Then we're going to talk about Kari Lake. Y'all know that I feel like we were really the first ones last week to kind of talk about this Kari Lake audio. Obviously not the first, because Benny Johnson was talking about it, but he was obviously paid to post about it. But we were the first ones to really question if this thing was even real. Because we didn't think it was real. And we got a little bit more information on this, and I'm still rather suspect of this whole situation. And now there's been more commentary about it and people defending her, which I don't understand. But we're going to talk about that as well. Obviously, we're going to talk about the border crisis and the potential threat of civil war, which is where Nostradamus comes into play. Okay. And I think Soonie also wanted to touch on a situation that she's personally going through with her school and her kids. She did a live about it yesterday, which was really good. And we definitely want to touch on that. So
get involved with your school, your kids' schooling, man. Yeah, please.
For sure. For sure.
Oh my gosh. Are you one of those? I was looking at all the comments from the Shade Room. I went over to YouTube and was looking at all the comments.
About
there
what?
were a lot of women agreeing with Ramaswamy. I was like,
of course they were agreeing. Listen, no, of course. Okay, wait, really quick. I want to talk about Ramaswamy, but going back to Kari Lake, you know who made a video agreeing with her?
Now who?
Steven Crowder.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus.
He's trying to get back in the good graces of women, looks like.
Why are you doing this? Why are so many people being so understanding of this?
Yeah.
To me, that's just baffling. I don't get it. You
know, I know that. Okay, let's just pretend for a second I'm Nostradamus and you're Negrodamus. Okay, I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to make a prediction that, because we've been talking about this for a while, that I think like in the influencer circles and people that talk about this stuff, that like shit's eventually going to hit the fan, and all these people that talk and don't substantiate their claims and talk out of their ass or talk for money or talk for clicks, that all this shit eventually is going to come colliding for them. I'm going to make a Nostradamus prediction that is going to happen in the next 4 months.
In the next 4 months.
Yeah, 4 or 5 months. Yeah. It's really going to come to a head.
We'll see.
What's your prediction?
I don't know.
You don't think everything,
go ahead. You said you don't think? What were you about to say?
Because you're the one that brought this to my attention. You were like, sooner or later, all the chips are about to fall. Mm-hmm. You had said that to me a long time ago. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But now I'm really starting to see evidence of it.
It's going to keep crumbling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when things are really going to hit the fan. I don't. Here's my prediction. Although I do think Trump will win, right? If he does not win, I think that's when shit will hit the fan and this right-leaning, left-leaning crap will completely disappear. Because it'll just be a uniparty. Everybody will be saying, okay, we need to join together. This is not working. This is not working. We haven't, the strategies aren't working. I think the left and the right will merge together on a lot of issues. Me personally. If Trump doesn't win. But if he does win, then people will remain divided. But I think because this side feels so like beat down that they are just going to cave like they always do. That's what I say.
See, I fear that because I fear that it'll be too late for the unity by that point. I think
it's already too late now. I just think people are lying to themselves.
I don't want to say it's all hope is lost right now, but it's pretty far down for sure. I definitely don't think, as much as I love Trump, I definitely don't think, unless he pulls a complete rabbit out of his hat, that he's going to do much for the unity aspect of things. There's still going to continue to be division because, of course, if he does get in, they will ramp up on the hatred and the divisive messages and whatnot. And our side will continue to play into it instead of trying to move people past it, So, yeah. Man, it got pretty dark, the message.
It did.
Dang. All right, so let's go back to Vivek Ramaswamy. So You're saying in the comments a lot of women are supporting this. Should we play what he said?
Sure.
First? Okay, let me play it. And this was he went on the Breakfast Club, I think 2 days ago. And here's the comment.
In this country. And right now we have a major divide in this country. And at a certain point, we're going to have to look 360 degrees across the board and say, all right, we're all laying down arms. We're going to agree to be one nation. We're going to agree to disagree on the issues where we disagree most profoundly, to say that we are still going to be bound by a common set of principles as Americans. Take abortion. Right? This is one where they say there's going to divide the country to a breaking point. I've stood for policy, and it's a mystery to me. I'm the only Republican who has advocated for this. I think it's a winner politically, but I think it's also the right thing to do. They say, okay, you can't find common ground on abortion. How about this one? Tell me, we got 3 guys here at the table. Let's talk from man to man on this. I think that if a woman brings a child to term,
this is what you fucking up at. You fucking up because it's 3 men, and you're saying you're having a conversation about women. You should be bringing the women to the table. This is why the shit you're talking about the founding fathers is some bullshit, because you got a bunch of men, you got a bunch of white men trying to make policies for a bunch of diverse groups.
No. Most women here like what I'm about to say. Most men don't.
You got 2 women right there. Ask them.
We have actually, and we've had a conversation. I think you may be worried about what I'm about to say, which is that I think if a woman brings a child to term, she should be able to make the man financially responsible for both her and the child if she does it, period. And that should be the law of the land.
That happens, though.
No, it doesn't. Not today. Not to the scale I'm talking about. Full
That's
financial.
What child support is.
It's you do 50-50. You got 40% for the man. I'm talking about 100%. So it's 2x over. He's fully responsible for the woman and fully responsible for the child.
She has to.
Because her responsibility, she took 9 months to actually bring the child to term. If it's confirmed with a genetic paternity test. So right now, today, 40 years ago,
he has full responsibility until the child's 18.
Absolutely. And full responsibility for the woman during that time.
I don't think that's bad.
I don't think it's bad either. Because I think that part of the criticism of Republicans is, oh, you're just throwing women under the bus. I say, that's a fair criticism. Let's actually take that seriously and say, we're all in this together. If you believe that unborn life is life.
Most women would agree with that. I think most women would say,
most women absolutely would agree with that.
For the child and for me. Yes.
Most women would agree with that, right? And that's not the state of but then men should think about that on the front end. That's the whole point. Because women can't afford that either. That's the whole this gets to the heart of the abortion debate.
That's not a bad point.
This gets to the heart of the abortion debate.
But what he's saying is you should think about that on the front end.
Exactly.
Put your
That's the
condom
whole
on.
point.
Remember when Young Thug was like, yo, if you broke, shouldn't be having babies.
Yeah,
exactly.
But things happen that don't. But things happen that don't work out.
If
you think it's going to work out, and it obviously doesn't now, a man
if it's confirmed
$40,000 a year, you want him to pay for the woman and the child.
That's not the wildest thing I've heard you say.
Because she's actually got 9 months of carrying the child. So this is when I'm talking back about uniting the country. I don't know if that's a idea or whatever. But right now, one of the criticisms is, and one of the things I believe as a leader, you talked about being a leader. What does a leader do? One of the things a leader does is listen to the best arguments for the other side, understand them deeply, and then give the best possible response to that you can. I had an 11th grade teacher. She taught me, if you can't state the best argument for the other side, you don't know what you actually believe yourself. And I think that that's true. And here on this question, the best argument for the other side is, how are you only putting this responsibility on women to say, okay, you stand for life and all of that, but how come that only falls on the woman? My answer is it shouldn't. So nature has made a decision, and some people will be offended at us saying this, but only women have,
a lot of men's ass
only women have children. Okay, I believe that's a biological fact. Some people may disagree with that, but if you have 2 X chromosomes, you have children. But we're going to do everything we can to even that responsibility out by saying that if the man is making a sexual decision, it's not just the woman that's responsible for that. The man actually pays for the woman and the child for the next 18 years.
I'm not mad at it.
Let's talk about just the divide in this country. And right now we have a major divide in this country. And at a certain point, we're going to have to look 360 degrees across the board and say, all right, we're all laying down arms. We're going to agree to be one nation. We're going to agree to disagree on the issues where we disagree most profoundly, to say that we are still going to be bound by a common set of principles as Americans. Take abortion, right? Is
this replaying?
Yeah, just replayed.
Okay. So what I'm understanding is his point is that he's saying, by saying the guy's going to be responsible for paying child support for the child and the woman, if she brings a child to term, she decides to have the child. So that's an incentive for her to have a child. But then it's also an incentive for the man to think twice before he puts his penis inside a vagina and skeets and potentially makes a child. Okay. in my opinion, it ain't working now. Okay. With having to pay child support for one child. Now, we're just assuming that there's a bunch of one-night stands that are creating unwanted children. But to DJ Envy's point, there's also marriages that don't work out, relationships, right? Where you're like, yeah, let's have a baby. Let's get married. Let's do all this. And then now you're going to be responsible for the woman and the child. I don't know.
He just lost a whole lot of support because the number one, it already exists. It's called spousal support. 2, a man is not required to pay for your life and the kid's life, especially if you have a choice and killing it and he doesn't. If you want to make it even across the board, then allow men to opt out of parenthood when a woman decides to have a baby, much like she decides to opt out of parenthood when the man wants a baby. Financial, like people are acting like money fixes broken homes. So in my opinion, Ramaswamy is throwing money at a situation and being like, yeah, well, you did this, you laid with her, you're responsible. That's stupid. She laid there too. They both made the conscious decision to do that unprotected, and they both know that a pregnancy could result. This is like throwing a oops, my camera went off. This is like throwing a ball at a glass window, right? And you know the glass has potential to break, but you throw it anyway. And then you say, oops, okay, now pay me because I broke the glass. Y'all are both taking a shot. Shut up. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard him say. The fuck? That was stupid.
I mean, I think that it's going to incentivize women to get pregnant.
That's all it's going to do. It's not going to curb any abortions.
No, I don't think so. And I don't think it's going to make men think twice either, because they're not thinking twice now. And if anything, it might increase abortions because the dude's going to be like, no, I'm not going to pay for you and the baby.
Exactly.
Right?
It might have the opposite effect.
Right. And how many guys avoid paying child support now as it is? A lot. So now you got to have the money to sue him for all that? Come on, man. I don't know.
Crazy. Yeah, that was really stupid, Ramaswamy. You say a lot of great things, but I think social issues you should leave to the experts because you're not one of them.
Yeah. You know what was funny? So I watched this whole interview because Liddell said that Vivek dog walked them. And I don't really think he did. In fact, Charlemagne, Vivek made some comment about how he did push-ups. He did 30 push-ups. They were in the middle of some heated debate about something. I don't know if it was the border or something. Anyways, Charlemagne's like, oh, you could do 30 push-ups. Let's go right now. Let's do it right now. And he's like, you want to do it right now? So they get down on the floor in the studio and they do 30 push-ups. Charlemagne was genius because he completely derailed Vivek from his point, because Vivek was so out of breath from having to do these 30 push-ups. He couldn't even, like, when he got back on the mic, he was like, all right, so what I was saying was, he took a sip, his coffee cup was empty. He's like, hey, Envy, can I have some water? Envy gave him water. He had to catch his breath. And by the time he was like done recovering, he had completely
moved on.
Exactly. I was like, dude, and Charlemagne wasn't even missing a beat. I was like, wow, you didn't dog walk nobody. They dog walked you. It was kind of funny.
That's been like and I'm sure we'll get to this once my school topic comes up, but that's been like, for some reason, that's been a buzzword for this side. When any conservative gets into a debate with anyone left leaning, I'm sorry, you guys pretend like they beat the shit out of him in a discussion. A lot of right leaning people lose because they're surface level smart. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to talk, you're never going to win a debate. You have to be crafty with your words, and you also have to catch people and inconsistencies with their logic. And I don't think we do that. I think people take that as like a form of insult, or like you being argumentative. I get this a lot. Like, you're just being argumentative. Why? Because I won't say okay. And I'm actually going down the line and testing your logic, because at some point you're going to be inconsistent, which makes your entire argument inconsistent. People don't want to do that. That's what I've noticed.
Well, I mean, and that's why Mo doesn't get into debates, because I'm not a debater. I argue with the heart. as you always
Oh my
say.
gosh.
No, I mean, I don't have any argument other than my personal experience and my heart, and that's it. So, that's why I don't ever get into these discussions, because I'm not a debater. That's just not
Debating
what I
is
do.
fun.
Yeah. Some people like
anybody who doesn't debate. It's fun. Get into it. It'll expand your lexicon.
Well, let's move into your school topic, since that is kind of debate related in a way.
Yeah. Let me see.
First,
I think I sent you the email, right?
Yeah, you sent me the email. Do you need me to pull it up?
No, I got it.
Explain to people how, like, in short, like how this all started with you and your child and where it's going now.
So my daughter brought home, actually, no, this started years ago. One of my girls came home and asked me what non-binary was. And I was like, what do you think it is? And she was like, I don't know. So we had a conversation with her that some people believe that they can change, but God made girls girls and God made boys boys. And I kind of left the conversation there. Didn't have an issue after that.
Mm-hmm.
Then my youngest daughter brings a book home called Yes, We Can. And you're like, oh, it's an encouraging book. Yes, we can.
Mm-hmm.
But then towards the end of the book, there's a very LGBTQ charged message that says love and be loved. And it preaches acceptance. So when she was reading the story, she got excited about the rainbow. And I said, let me see the pictures. And she turned the pictures and I was just horrified. There was an LGBTQ flag on there. There was a transgender flag. There was a symbol that showed, all genders in one. And I ended up taking the book back to the school and having a meeting with the principal and questioned her on a few things because I was not satisfied with the message that I was getting, which was, we don't teach this here. And maybe I can play a clip. We don't teach this here. It's just, how did she explain it to me? It's just offered. It's not something that we actually teach here. It's just offered and the students can go pick it if they want. And I questioned her further on that. Like, okay, what does that mean? What happens when a child does pick the book and does express, I guess, being confused or some interest in this?
Mm-hmm.
And she said something that was really alarming. She said, well, we do our best to loop the parents in.
Mm.
And I was just like, what do you mean you do your best to loop parents in? Like, that makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
And she let me know that they sit down with the counselor and the child, and pretty much if they feel that it's a big enough conversation, they'll reach out to the parents. She gave me an option to look through the books to see which books that I potentially wanted to challenge if I wanted to take it in front of the superintendent. And they've been giving me the runaround. I emailed them. I get a response of, well, which books are you challenging? Well, I don't know because I haven't gone to the library to see which books I want to challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get no response. So I kind of got discouraged with it and was like, you know what? I got 6 months here, 7 months here. Is it even worth it?
Mm-hmm.
And is it even worth it if I'm doing it by myself? Because it's just me. It's not like there are any other parents up there doing what I'm doing. It's just me. Mm-hmm. So I kind of put it to the back burner. And then I get another email from my son's 5th grade teacher, and attached at the bottom is another message that was just borderline disrespectful and 100% unprofessional. I've never seen any school affiliate, any school teacher send this type of email out. And it bothered me because it did come from a teacher who attached this message to the bottom and felt it was appropriate to send to parents in regards to a school dance at an elementary school level. And I'm going to pull up the email so you guys can see it. This is the email in its entirety. I have not added anything. Of course, I cropped out their personal email and cropped out my personal email, but this was the email I got. It says, parents, you will drop your child off, sign them in with us, and give us your contact info. Parents, you will need to physically pick your child up from the dance. We will not allow any child to walk, bike, or scooter home alone, no matter how close you live. Students will only leave with a guardian. Parents, there is a strict 8 p.m. pickup. There is no after party. And the PTO board starts charging a $5 fee of every minute after 8 p.m. Parents, no, you cannot stay unless you signed up to volunteer with the PTO for the dance through the PTO board. I have that list, so I know who you are. Sorry, perks of volunteering with the PTO. Please don't make us kick you out. Now, on a surface level,
elementary school, y'all. Elementary school.
This is elementary school. On a surface level, and I posted this all over the Okinawa event pages. I posted it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are like, well, what's your problem with it? Number one, you're telling me that I can't go to a 3rd grade dance with my 8-year-old child. Mm-hmm. 2, you're telling me that your discernment is better than mine because you know the PTO board members that you don't do background checks on, that we literally sign up in a line full of people where you're just taking our money, okay? Because that's what y'all do. We get in a line, you ask us to sign up, give our emails, and you take $10 from us for the year, and we get some whack-ass wannabe fancy necktie to let parents know that they're a part of the PTO, and that's it. You're not doing background checks on these people. We don't know who these other parents are, but you're telling me that I know who they are, and if you decide to come and you want to be there with your kid, then you're going to kick me out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How is this allowed to be sent to parents from a school website? I mean, from a school, not even a website, but this is coming from a school.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, this is a good point. The LOL is the cherry on top. I mean, when Soonie sent this to me, I was like, first of all, what's up with all the caps? Like, she's yelling at the parents, right? And I even said to Soonie, I was like, first of all, this is elementary school. Like, since when do they even have dances in elementary school? Number one. And anytime I've ever seen an elementary school dance, it's usually the girls bring their dad or an older brother or a parent or something, right? As their dance partner. And the parents are able to attend. And I'm thinking in my head, like, if you're not running background checks on your PTO people, then what is the big deal?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that you don't want to have parents there? You should be welcoming. Hey, parents, if you would like to come, please email me ahead of time with your name and your information so I know you're going to be there, right? I understand all of that because you don't want just random, you have situations with parents who are maybe splitting custody with their kid. You don't want a parent showing up saying, oh, I'm here to pick up my kid, and they don't have, the right to do that. I understand all that. But the way that email was talking to the parents was a complete lack of disrespect.
Yes.
Overstep of a school's authority. 100%.
Yeah. So I thought about, this is legit my thought. I thought about going to the dance with my kids and daring them to try to kick me out of anything. Like, I want you to try to put me out. But then I said, you know what? That's not a good example to set for my kid, because that's teaching them to go seek out confrontation. And that's not what I'm trying to teach them. I'm trying to teach them to stand up for what they believe in, but you have to do it in decency and in order. And I wanted to go to the dance. I wanted to stand right next, because I know the lady. I wanted to stand right next to her. And I want you to try to kick me out. I really do. Like you said before, y'all ain't doing background checks on none of these people. Mm-hmm. You're not. Mm-hmm. You take our $10, you give us a little necklace, and that's it. And the stuff that you do, you know what makes it worse is the student innovators were charged with putting this together. So not only did my child miss out on an event that she put together, you then barred her parents from being able to go, which grants her access to go. So honestly, I'm glad they didn't go, because they're too young to be having school dances. She's only 8. My oldest is about to be 12 tomorrow. And they don't need to go. They're not missing out on a childhood. They'll have these experiences with prom, going to homecoming, in high school and all this other shit. But these people are telling you what they think of you. Mm-hmm. They are the authority. And you need to let them know, absolutely, you're not.
Yeah.
You don't pay a bill. You don't take care of them when they're sick. They're with you for 6 hours out of the day, and you're barely teaching them. You're inundating these children with BS concepts of, we're going to solve world hunger. Let's talk about immigration and how bad it is if you don't want to accept immigrants and give up your natural resources to feed people that aren't even from this country. This is happening in schools. Yeah. It doesn't matter that I'm here in Japan. Now, the difference is I'm here every day to combat anything that's taught in the school. And my kids actually enjoy the school. The school is not a bad school. I have great teachers there. It's just this year where it has gotten so bad and these people are blatantly disrespectful and they don't care about your views. They don't. I'm going to play this clip of me talking to the principal because of the book that I found my child reading. And this goes back to the topic of the topic that I had on the live, which was Moms of Liberty versus Joy Reid. If you guys haven't watched that interview, it's 12 minutes. Go watch it. Everybody was sharing those clips, pretending like this woman beat the crap out of Joy Reid and this is how you're supposed to do it. And she didn't ask the one most important question that you should ask anytime you are going back and forth with a school that pushes inclusivity. This is what you need to ask them.
For students to self-select.
So inclusivity is taught here.
We offer it and they select. It's not that we are teaching it, but the materials are available.
So are there Christian books here where they can learn about Jesus?
Yes and no. When we're teaching, we don't teach religion, but there are some books on that do mention religion. I would almost, I can't say for specifics because I haven't looked at the specifically.
It's already all the way up.
Is there going to be one titled Christianity? Probably not. But are there going to be books just like this one that has something in it that talks about Christianity? I would say yes. In our nonfiction section, there would be something, especially when you're talking about a historical book.
Okay.
Just like when you're talking about Mother Teresa or Martin Luther King and his beliefs, it would mention.
Of course.
So I wanted to play that because she didn't know.
Mother Teresa.
She didn't know how to respond to me. And there's more to this. I'm going to break this up and put it out. I've sat on this for months. I haven't put it out. I haven't let anybody hear any of it, to be honest with you. I challenged this lady further because we got into the message of inclusivity and how there are students in the school who identify as non-binary. Now, it's not something that they showcase to the entire classroom, which doesn't matter because these kids talk amongst themselves. So I challenged her and I said, you're not being inclusive unless you include me. So until you include Christians and Muslims and whatever else religion, don't feed me BS because you're not pushing a message of inclusion.
Right.
You're saying that my message is hateful, right? And this has no place here, but you're also disrespecting me and my faith by saying, well, actually, this has a place here because it's not hateful. When you say that my God is a bigot and that Jesus is a misogynist, that's disrespect. I'm sorry to break it to you. When you say that it's wrong to have faith because not everybody is included, you're being a hypocrite because I'm not included. And there are certain rules and regulations to the Bible. If you don't like it, take it up with the man upstairs. It has nothing to do with me. But ostracizing a group of students and not offering them any faith-based books or any appropriate books that fits their lifestyles is not inclusivity. You guys are lying. So what?
Not
more
inviting
parents,
the parents to the school dance is not
inclusive. What are you hiding? So you guys could take it from me. If you guys want to use me as the example, go to these schools, whatever school your kid is in, and challenge these people. Don't go up there raising hell. I just asked hard questions and I spooked the crap out of these people to the point where they don't want me in the library now. So I'm gonna leave it there. We'll see what happens. This email that I showed you, this will not be anything that I let go. This will be addressed. I will be going to the school and asking them why they think this is appropriate. And I will be going to complain about the PTO president.
Yeah.
You do not dictate who is around my child. I do that. You get them for 6 hours of the day, and I give you no complaints. But to refer to us as entitled, if you could see the disgusting messages or comments that are on these pages because of the email that I posted, where they're calling me an entitled parent. Oh, you and your bratty kids don't need to show up anyway. What the fuck are you talking about? How am I entitled because I want to be somewhere with my 8-year-old?
Yeah.
She's 8.
Yeah.
Not 18. And then they call it as helicopter parents. You need to be helicopter parents. That's why half of your kids are growing up fucked up because you want to be their friend and you want to hand them a phone and be like, yeah, go watch YouTube and have Momo pop up and scare the living shit out of you, or have all this nasty LGBTQ shit popping up, Pride Month on Blue's Clues and all this other shit. And you wonder why your kids are coming out. I'm bisexual at 10 years old. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So respectfully, because I know y'all watching, fuck all y'all hoes. Come see about it.
I second said statement because, man, I'm sure you too, when you went to school, Soonie, but my parents could just show up whenever. They didn't need to go through no office. Okay. They could walk straight into the school. They didn't need no pass. They were like, my daughter's in so-and-so's class, and they would open the door and sit down.
Yeah.
And my mom did it all the time, and I hated it. Okay.
Oh, they get bothered. I do it. I'll pop up every now and then. Go watch what's going on. Let me see your schoolwork. They get bothered. You're interrupting the atmosphere. No, I'm not. Teach your students how to fucking pay attention, and don't be worried about somebody else's parent coming up in here. I'm not your mama. So what you worried about it for?
Mm-hmm.
You need to start, listen, people need to start being stern and firm with children because you're raising little soft, entitled assholes.
Yeah. Not just that, but you need to, parents, I don't say we, because I don't have any more school age kids, but parents, you need to reinforce with your children that even though the school is responsible for them during the day, right? As far as like the time that they're there and making sure that they know where they're at all times. If the teacher tells you something to do or pulls you aside from the class to have a meeting with you, you need to tell your parents, and you need to ask the teacher, is my parent going to be called into this meeting? Has my mom been made aware that you're calling me into a meeting? Because it's gotten to the point where the school completely oversteps and they pull your children aside and they have meetings with your children and they have discussions with your children, and they've got your children so scared, okay, that your children don't go home and tell you. And they need to tell you. They need to tell you everything that's happening. You are
People are weird. People are weird.
Man, I'll tell you what. And it's crazy.
I was 38.
Right.
I was 38 hot. Like what?
Wait, what'd you say yesterday, Soonie? That I was like, what's that? Soonie said, we about to
gonna shoot the ones.
And I was like, what's that? Like
we gonna squabble. Like, if it's that serious, then we can shoot the ones. It's like, if it's really like that and you really like, okay. I know that there's a time and a place for stuff and you can't be ignorant and you don't teach your kids these bad, habits. Yeah. But some of these entitled teachers, do you need your ass whooped one good time to know that you are not going to screw with people's kids, bro. Right. They're not yours. They're mine. And if you want to say you're talking about your kids like they're property, my last name is attached. I carried them for 9 months. I provide whatever they need until they go off and marry someone else. You're mine.
That's right.
It's that simple.
That's right. Yeah. Amen to that. Anyways. All right. Well, good message. Good message. All right. So let's talk about the Kari Lake thing. Okay. So if you guys don't know about the Kari Lake thing, Kari Lake released an audio of Arizona GOP representative or official Jeff DeWitt allegedly bribing her into dropping her run for, I think at the time it was for governorship. Okay. Now she's running for the Senate. Now I want to mention that because we are just now hearing this recording, but Kari Lake sat on this recording for 10 months.
Yeah.
Okay. She mentioned her being bribed at CPAC, very soon, if not days after the incident happened. But she sat on this recording for 10 months. So I asked, why did you sit on this recording for 10 months? I thought it was very strange. And I was like, okay, are you doing this for the people? Is there some bigger thing in this that's in it for you? What's going on? Because that don't make no sense to me. So I wanted to play, if I can find it, I wanted to play the video. Do I have it? I thought I sent it to you. I think I did. Hold on. The video of her explaining this. If I can't find it quickly, I'm just going to, oh, here it is. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Give me just a second.
She looks like a freaking fake Barbie doll. Like she doesn't even look like a real human.
Well, you know what's weird is I always looked at Kari Lake and I was like, man, she's got a hell of a lighting setup, but she looks like that in real life.
Yeah, all that collagen, isn't that what it is? And Botox.
I don't know, but she looks airbrushed in real life. Like she looks
pounds of makeup.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Y'all ever heard of spritz? Y'all, if you black, you know what spritz is.
Oh yeah, spritz. Yeah, you think she got spritz?
She got something because her hair don't move.
I don't know.
They put a whole bunch of spritz in there.
I was so blown away at how tall she was. Like that's what blew me away first and foremost. I was like, damn, she really is a big bitch. I can't find the video that I was trying to search for here. But okay, basically she basically said this. She said, honestly, the way this video came about was I was sitting around and I found the video on my phone and I said to my team, you know what? I want to listen to this just the other day. And she listens to it and she tells Megyn Kelly, my skin crawled when I heard it because I was instantly reminded at how disgusting what transpired that day was. But honestly, I'd forgot all about it. So that's why the recording just now came out. That's her excuse for just now releasing it, because she just remembered she had it. Yet, never mind that she's been talking about it at CPAC.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind that just listening to it again makes her want to come out of her skin. She somehow forgot about it and then was like, oh, now's a good time to conveniently release this, and then asked for this guy to resign. Okay. So she asked for him to resign, and he resigned Wednesday following the release of the audio tape. Now, I'm going to read to you the resignation letter because nobody was really posting the resignation letter. And then I went and I read the resignation letter and I was like, well, hold up. This is interesting. Okay. So we go read the resignation letter. So he says, I'm going to put this up here. I don't think you guys can read it because it's quite small, but I'll put it up here anyways.
Excuse me.
Okay. He says, in light of the recent revelation that Kari Lake has released a selectively edited audio recording of our private conversation. Now, I want to say that when you hear the recording, which we played on last week's show, and if you want to hear that, you can go back to it. It starts off in the middle of a conversation. So we have no context as to what was being discussed before. Okay. Supposedly she was in her house. He came to her house to talk to her. I must clearly address this deceptive tactic. The recording from over 10 months ago is not only taken out of context, but also undermines the integrity of a private discussion critical for party leadership. As chairman, my primary duty is to strengthen our party, which often involves challenging dialogue and strategic decisions. These conversations are meant to assess and enhance the viability of our candidates. The truth is, when I took the helm, our party was in disarray financially, unstable, organizationally weak, and lacking in momentum. Today, we have made significant improvements in acquiring a new office headquarters, blah, 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 blah. Contrary to the notion of me being an enemy of Lake's, this conversation was recorded while I was actually employing her at my private company. In fact, for over a year and a half, we had many conversations where I was looking out for her financial interests. The ethical breach in her recording of our conversation while Lake was my employee raises serious legal and moral concerns. Now, I would expect, I want to preface that recording him in the state or in the state of Arizona is not legal. What he's saying is because she was an employee under his company policy, it is illegal because it's a breach of confidentiality. The act of recording was not just a betrayal of trust, but also a violation of the fiduciary responsibilities of an employee. Contrary to accusations of bribery, my discussion was transparent and intended to offer perspective, not coercion. I don't know about that. When I listened to the conversation, it didn't sound like that. Our relationship was based on friendship, and the conversation that is now being scrutinized was an open, unguarded exchange between friends in the living room of her house. I genuinely believed I was offering a helpful perspective to someone I considered a friend. Lake has a massive megaphone that I cannot compete with. I'm just a business and financial guy that got recruited into this unpaid role that demands the amount of time of roughly 2 full-time jobs, nights, weekends, holidays, and more all workdays. My motivation for accepting the position was that I wanted to contribute privately or positively, with the primary focus being the betterment of Arizona and our nation through the election of competent individuals. While there is much more that I could express, I must refrain from defending myself as it could potentially undermine this objective. Since our conversation where I advised Lake to postpone her campaign and aim for the governor's position in 2 years, she has been on a mission to destroy me. It was a suggestion made in good faith, believing it could benefit both for future prospects and the party's overall strategy. The release of our conversation by Lakes confirms a disturbing tendency to exploit private interactions for personal gain and increase concerns about her habit of secretly recording personal and private conversations. This is obviously a concern given how much interaction she has with high-profile people like Donald Trump. He goes on to say, I'm sorry, guys, I'm almost done. Effective a United States senator can be when they can be trusted to engage in private and confidential conversations. I said things I regret, but I realized when hearing Lake's recording that I was set up. I believe she orchestrated this entire situation to have control over the state party, and it is obvious from the recording that she crafted her performance responses, which I agreed with because I said she used some very language that if you're talking to somebody in your home who's a friend, I wouldn't be using, like, we're for the people. And, you know, like, I don't even talk to Soonie like that. I don't talk to Soonie like that. She was intending to use this recording later to portray herself as a hero in her own story. I completely agree with that. This morning, I was determined to fight for my position. However, a few hours ago, I received an ultimatum from Lake's team. Resign today or face the release of a new, more damaging recording. Why not just release it anyways? Kari, you're for the people. Why are you just using this to threaten the man? Just release the recording. I am truly unsure of its contents, but considering our numerous past open conversations as friends, I've decided not to take the risk. I'm resigning as Lake requested in the hope that she will honor her commitment to cease her attacks, allowing me to return to the business sector, a field I find more logical and prefer over politics. I'm a proud supporter of President Trump, having worked diligently, you should, because he endorsed your campaign, and served in his administration for 2 years and returned as the CEO of the 2020 campaign. Like many Republicans, I'm eager to see him return to the White House, bringing back low inflation, blah, 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 blah. In closing, my actions will always reflect what's best for Arizona Republicans, our commendable elected officials, and our mission to reclaim the White House. This is all such a distraction to that mission that I'm doing as Miss Lake wishes. I'm stepping down as chairman of the Arizona Republican Party. Now, let me preface really quick. I think both of them are full of shit in multiple ways. Like, I don't think this guy, Jeff DeWitt, is 100% innocent, nor do I care about him in any way or protect him. I'm just saying this whole thing reeks of political bullshit. And Kari is using it to her advantage. He could be using it to his advantage. He could have been resigning all along. I don't know. But the fact that people are defending her when you don't even know the whole story, you don't even know the whole context. She's using information that she supposedly has to threaten this man even further. Yeah. And don't question why she doesn't just release the information if it's corruption that you're trying to expose is crazy to me.
Well,
it's not to be trusted.
I'm just going to call it what it is. People can get mad at me. I don't really care.
What is it?
Well, blackmail. You're blackmailing him. That is what you did in front of millions of Americans, and millions of Americans are supporting blackmail. Mm-hmm. It literally means the extortion or coercion, which is what she did by threats, especially of public exposure or criminal prosecution. It does not have to include money. He is afraid for his public image because of this out of context audio recording she put out that she had for 10 months. You are coercing this man into quitting because you're a woman. You can't win a fight fair and square, so you have to resort to vindictive, disgusting behavior. This is why I don't believe women should be anywhere near close to any positions of power. You blackmailed him. That is not how you get things done. Oh, wait a minute. It is how you get things done. Isn't that what they do in Washington?
Yes.
Blackmail the shit out of people. So are you really trying to save the people? Are you really trying to do what's best for America? Or are you concerned about your agenda? Right. Which is what 99% of politicians do once they get to a certain level. It becomes what they envision for the country, which is by definition authoritarian.
Right.
I don't like Kari Lake. I've never liked her. She looks fake. She got exposed for supporting the LGBTQ bullshit. Drag queens came out and exposed her for having her kids around, for her hanging around. She literally did a video saying, well, I like the way they do makeup. So yeah, I had them around. If you guys don't wake up and smell the freaking coffee, you're so easily manipulated by scandal and corruption, and you don't question the person that's coming from. She blackmailed this man in broad daylight in front of all of us, and you're still continuing to support her while she offers no other solution.
Yeah.
She's not putting out the extra recordings. Why wouldn't you put them out if you are genuinely trying to expose the corruption within the Republican Party or the GOP?
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to pull this up really quick because Soonie and I have been quite critical of Maggie McCarthy, also known as MAGA Midge, before her account was taken down and she got married to Daniel McCarthy, who's a politician as well. But she has some very interesting highlights. Okay. Now we criticize people around here. Okay. But when we go back to your stuff and 95% of your stuff on this particular person has actually come to fruition, we got to say on this, we're going to highlight your page. Okay. So I want you guys to go to Maggie McCarthy AZ on Instagram, and on her highlights right here, she's got Kari Lake 1, Kari Lake 2, Kari Lake 3. Go through it. Okay. You're going to see that it starts with her campaign run for governor. She was the one who exposed, and Soonie covered it when she did expose it. Kari Lake taking pictures with a bunch of drag queens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When she said she was completely against all that stuff. In fact, the drag queen that she was friends with, very close with, came out and spoke out and said, oh, Kari's like, she's big in this community. Yeah. So all I'm saying is we're not here to talk shit about people. But Kari Lake's campaign doesn't pay me or Soonie, nor would we do it, right? Because we don't just endorse people for money. But you got to look at what is actually in front of you, not what you want to see. Yes, she's a pretty woman with a very nice image. She says all the right things. She follows Trump around. She's MAGA, 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 MAGA. But is she really about what she says she's about? Hence, can we trust that this recording that she's releasing is in good faith and honesty? I don't know. Go look at the evidence that Maggie has very well put out here on her page and make the judgment for yourself. We're not here to tell you what to think, but go and look for yourself. And then question the people that are telling you that she's the victim, that she's not telling a lie. Go question those people. I'm disappointed because some of these people I really, really love and love their stuff. And I'm thinking, why are you doing this? You could just stay quiet. You could just stay quiet. You don't have to say anything about this. Trump was supposed to go to Arizona for some type of event tomorrow, and he has since canceled it. Is the heat of this a little too much for him? He don't want to have nothing to do with it. We will soon know if we don't see Kari invited to all the other rallies and caucuses and whatnot.
I mean, I don't know. I think the conversation is simple. She blackmailed him and he quit. Mm-hmm. And anything could be in those audios. We don't know. It doesn't even have to be politically motivated. Anything could be in that audio. Anything. And I'm going to like go on a stretch here and say his explanation makes far more sense than hers. I can see how things are taken out of context. I can. Mm-hmm. Let's just paint the scenario real quick. Hey, Soonie, we know you're like pushing the show, but we need just give us a year. We need a year. We'll set you up good. You don't have to worry about anything, and we'll push the hell out of your shit in a year once we got everything set in place. Is that bribing me? Or is that saying I could do more for you if you just sit back and wait for a year? We got you. Don't do this right now. Mm-hmm. Just sit back and wait. Is that bribery?
No.
But if I put the audio out and I say that this was the bribery recording that I was talking about 10 months ago, and I've already built the narrative around it, it would very much so sound like they're trying to bribe me to sit out and not speak. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm looking at this. Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound like bribery to me. It didn't sound like bribery to me when the first time we played it. I was just like, nah.
Right.
Why you? Who are you? Are you popular nationally? Like, if we look at how she's polling nationally, really?
Well,
really?
Can I just point out that she came out of nowhere? She was a newscaster, okay? She was a journalist. And she came out of nowhere, just like, who was that other fool? God, what was his name? You exposed him. It was the whole reason why some people stopped talking to you. God, what was that guy's name? He was running in California.
In California?
The Cuban guy.
Tremino.
Anthony Tremino. See, that was another one. He came out of nowhere. All this money, all this support, all this backing. Everybody was talking about him. She's the same thing. She came out of nowhere. Nobody knew who Kari Lake was. She was an anchor on the local news.
Yeah, that's true.
And now she's like the savior of the Republican Party in Arizona? What? Okay, first of all, you can't be... Listen, you know why I've never gotten a bribery offer? Because I make it clear you can't bribe me to do something unethical. You can make an offer to me, okay? But if it comes to unethical things, I've never gotten an offer because I don't tolerate that.
Yeah.
That's why, and I know the feminists are going to be mad. This is why Mo has never been sexually harassed, because Mo don't tolerate that. And I give off the vibe so nobody comes and sexually harasses me. Okay. But I guarantee you, most people who get sexually harassed give off a vibe that they might welcome that type of behavior. So I said this the other day. Why, Kari Lake, does he feel so comfortable and sound so comfortable talking to you about this? Like it's a conversation y'all have had before.
Yeah.
That's what that sounded like to me.
Which would strengthen the out of context claims.
Right.
Out of context. Oh, by the way, I'm going to keep bringing this up to y'all. It doesn't matter what her face looks like. What matters is what the fuck is behind her. That is literally the feminist icon.
Yes, and that's her.
We can do it. Are you... I'm so sick of being right on women in politics that it's sickening. I just want to be wrong one time. Just one time. That's it. I really want somebody to come back and be like, you were wrong. And I would be like, you know what? You got that. Because I was definitely wrong on that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's move quickly to Charlie Kirk. Okay. I'm going to play this this video from Charlie Kirk. He was on a show, Thought Crime, Charlie Kirk and Jack Prosebek, or whoever that guy's name is. I can never pronounce his name. And he made this statement. Now, this is from attorney Ben Crump's page. Doesn't mean I support him, but he had the video clip. So here you go.
That's why I think this United story and the DEI story hits so hard, because we've all been in the back of a plane when the turbulence hits or when you're flying through a storm.
Okay, wait. DEI is diversity and inclusion. Okay, so United
Diversity,
Airlines,
equity, inclusion.
Equity, inclusion. United Airlines, Delta Airlines, a lot of airlines have had a inclusion, diversity, whatever you want to call it, policy. I think we've pointed out that it's been in their policy. It's just now being highlighted, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
Storm, and you're like, I'm so glad I saw the guy with the right stuff and the square jaw get into the cockpit before we took off, and I feel better now.
No, I mean, like, you want to go thought crime? Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm gonna be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Well, that's the you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have. You wouldn't have done that before.
That's not an immediate.
No, you wouldn't have done that before.
That's not who I am. That's not what I believe.
It is the reality the left has created.
And that's what.
First of all, this dude right here, he says, aren't you glad when you get on a plane and you see a dude with the right stuff and a square jaw?
Yeah.
What's the right stuff?
What is the right stuff? What does any of this mean? Like, truly, what does any of this mean? Straight up. What does it all mean?
Yeah. I'm gonna let you
people are going to say that you're being sensitive. You're taking it out of context. That's not what they meant. They are going to be hiring more black people that aren't qualified. I'm here to like clue you in, but there are certain prerequisites that are not optional when flying commercial. Want to know why? Because they're charged with flying thousands, if not millions of Americans yearly, monthly, all over the nation and abroad. Do you really think they want lawsuits out the ass for a diversity hire? Are you serious? Or are you just afraid to come out and admit that you think kind of low of black people? Or else, why would you be worried? Why would you even care? I sent Mo some of the prerequisites. I'm going to read some of them to you. This is what's required. Commercial pilots are required to hold and include a minimum of 15,000 hours of total flight time. That's a minimum. Not across the board, a minimum. Okay? Becoming an airline pilot involves extensive training, qualifications, aviation experience, so it is quite challenging to achieve. So what you just said was you don't think black people can actually achieve this? You don't think we actually meet the criteria or have the capabilities for extensive training and aviation experience? And you also just indicted how many schools How many instructors that are actually teaching these people before they even get to a commercial level? Because there's so many levels that you have to get to before you can even sign up for this. Like, why can't we just have honest discussions? What is wrong? Listen, if you're worried that a pilot is black because you have some sort of bias, then fucking say that. Don't blame the left because then you're openly stating that you're susceptible to their indoctrination, the same indoctrination that you claim not to be susceptible to, the same indoctrination that you claim to be speaking out against. You're getting on and you're positively reinforcing it. That's all this conversation does, which is why I believe in having nuanced discussions about race, because if we don't, we run into this. You got young kids being shot because white people are afraid in their fucking homes. Both races are doing it. What are y'all afraid of? What are you afraid of? And you know, you got people coming out, y'all are just being sensitive. No, it's not sensitivity, bro. I'm the last person to get bothered by anyone's opinions on race. I can really care less. That's not what matters to me. What matters is you're openly lying. You have a bias in your head about blacks. Would you be worried if a black man was on your basketball team? No. You know why? Because you expect them to perform well in the arena of athletics. You do. Would you be afraid of how your record is going to turn out if you're going to make a musical record? No. You want to know why? Because you know we dominate in that. You know this. There are fewer than 300 black pilots nationally in America. Fewer than 300. Do you know how many times you've probably already been flown by a black pilot that you didn't see? Because 99.9% of the time, we don't even see the freaking pilot.
Yeah.
You could have been flown by a Punjab freaking Indian. You could have been flown by a Japanese person, a Chinese person, anybody. You have no clue who's flying these planes. But in the back of your mind, Charlie Kirk, the first thing you could think of, and you say, what do you say? Want to hear a thought police thought? It's not thought police. You're saying something that you're afraid to come out and say. So you're saying, you're prefacing with, they're probably going to cancel me if I say this because they're weak. I wouldn't want a black pilot. Why? Nobody questioned him on why. Why?
Well, he kind of said, because the left has made me think about this, right? That maybe they're just hiring based on the color. But let me say this. I would like to ask Charlie Kirk. Okay. 2 questions, actually. Let's just say hypothetically, Charlie, you're on a plane and you start to notice that the entire flight crew is black. The pilot, the stewardesses, because that's happening now, right? I actually was on a plane recently. I was like, dang, the whole flight crew black. By the way, we made it safely. I'm alive, right? But what you gonna do if you see that the pilot is black? You just said you're scared. What are you gonna do? You gonna stand up and ask to be put on another flight in front of everybody? I bet you won't. I bet you won't. Second of all, if this is how you feel, and we have talked about this before, what are you doing to change the narrative? If you're so sick of the narrative that the left alone is painting, right? That's making you focus so much, hyper focus on race. What are you doing to change it? Because you only like to highlight black degeneracy. So you're helping to further the narrative that black people aren't intelligent, right? That black people can't achieve a pilot's license. But he'll say, "Oh, no, well, I wouldn't say that. I'm friends with Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum. They're black. They run what's the L'exit, right? They're very intelligent. I have several black friends.
I've got black friends."
And yes, I will fly Spirit, but only to Vegas. Okay.
It's just because I want people to understand what I'm saying. It's the implications and the intent.
Yeah.
Your intention may be well, the left is making me think this way, which is a cop-out. But what you're implying without saying it is that we don't quite measure up, and you should be worried if we're at the helm of it. If we're at the helm of a flight. And how discouraging and disrespectful to an entire population of people who are already sold that they don't quite measure up because they're black. Now let's compound it with people on the right saying, well, they're making me think this way. So if it's a diversity, equity hire and inclusion, then I gotta question your merit. And it's solely based off the fact that you're black. Even though we like to peddle Martin Luther King, which tells you not to judge people by their skin color, but by the content of their character. You don't know this person. You don't know them from a hole in the wall. That's what Charlie is saying. He's using that as a crutch, Greg. Wake the fuck up. Because nobody ever had this thought. Tell me, has Charlie Kirk been afraid to get flown by a white liberal woman? Because they're pilots too.
And the number one recipient of
affirmative action.
The number one recipient is white women.
Or did he come out and say that he was afraid of a black pilot? Which one? Which one? Because I'm actually scared of being flown by a woman versus any man on this planet. If something goes wrong with this flight, is she going to be able to mentally make sure we land safe, or is she going to panic? I'm sorry, but I trust a man to do that. It doesn't matter his race. I don't really care. I trust that he has a mental fortitude to get us there and landed safely versus a woman.
But, diversity, as we covered a couple shows ago, diversity, equity, inclusion also is now, they're focusing more so than just black hires. They're focusing on mentally and physically disabled people. So Charlie, if you see somebody, the pilot roll in and he's got a wheelchair, or he looks like he may have a little bit of Down syndrome, or he looks like he may be a little bit retarded, or he got one arm, are you going to be just as scared?
Come on, bro. It doesn't matter what color or sex they are. The first thing he mentioned was race. If it didn't matter and all he said was, dude, I'm afraid now getting on these flights because I know that they're hiring people based on, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Nobody would have, this conversation wouldn't be going on, because you can understand, like, dang, bro, who are they hiring? But even more so, you could be challenged on that, because becoming a pilot has nothing to do, and they're not going off the guidelines of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. You are indicting several businesses, corporations that are charged with putting certain people in these planes. Like, come on.
Yeah. The DEI is for the hire through the airplane or through the airline. The DEI is not to get your pilot's license. So what Sooney's saying is there's a very high bar you have to meet to even become a pilot. This isn't like we're talking about, just some regular corporation is saying they're going to hire more black people and they don't need to have any qualifications on their resume that don't meet the qualifications of the job. What she's saying is, in order to have the pilot's license, period, you have to be able to meet a very high level of expectations.
Yes.
And I don't want to bring this up. I ain't going to bring up the picture. Okay. But I just looked up who the most recent pilot air crashes. Okay. That have happened. One was a white guy and one was a white woman. Pilot error, the most recent ones. Okay. I couldn't find one where there was a black person. Not that that matters, but just to go back to his statement, he has no basis for that statement.
Right.
He made
none.
Yeah.
Zilch. Nada. And I'm going to do a live on this after this. I'm still waiting for my husband to get back. But at some point, people have to be honest with themselves. Like, you have to be honest with yourself. I was doing a bit of research, and I'm going to be bringing this up in the latter days. I'm probably going to do a whole series on my own page of how to lie with statistics and how conservatives have lied with statistics. I myself have used very flawed statistics to push forth a point instead of being not lazy, okay, because most people are lazy, and actually doing the math and understanding what these numbers mean, we have literally stereotyped two different groups of people, and we continue to perpetuate the stereotype and complain about race relations in this country, and then throw off responsibility on the left. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Like, I'm not being, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not exaggerating. I was talking to Mo about this before we went live. I'm not exaggerating when I say apples and oranges are being compared.
Yeah.
And it is effectively making one group look like shit while the other one gets away scot fucking free.
Soonie, I know you don't want to go that deep into this, but at least bring up the little math equation you did for me. And I want to say this, you guys, okay? And this is why our show is called Somewhere in the Middle. Anybody who's watching this show or has watched this show knows that I don't even like these types of conversations because I hate the whole race conversation. I usually don't play into it. But even I heard this statement. It was like, this is dumb. This is the dumbest thing. This is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard. And I felt like it had to be spoken about. Because the whole reason why I hate these conversations is because they go nowhere. And that brings me back to the conversation or the comment that Charlie made. Where are you like, what is this accomplishing to make a statement like this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, he's just expressing how he feels. Okay, well, you don't always get to do that when you have this huge platform. You have to be very careful how you say things. And I'm not saying be careful and not use black or white and blah, 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 blah. But don't make an ignorant statement on that when you have no facts to substantiate that fear.
Yeah.
If anybody can point out to me other than the fact that the left is always pushing the race thing, but actual facts on why we should just let this comment slide, please share them. But Soonie's going to share with you some numbers.
Yeah, so I went to juvenile delinquents because they have a lot of statistics on children and their living arrangements. And this is being tracked. This has been tracked from 1970 all the way up to 2022. So I'm sure they'll come out with another data set soon. But right now, this is what we have to deal with. And the reason that I looked this up, sorry, I can't see the other side of my screen. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's a little bigger. The reason I was looking this up is because even centered around conversations like this that, Charlie Kirk was having, they love to use the statistic of, well, black kids are growing up in homes without a father. They're growing up in broken homes, which does create a statistic of you being far less likely of actually having success in life. It's not made up. It's true. I will concede that fact. I will concede that over 70% of our homes have a child out of wedlock. But we leave out the nuance of all these discussions. I wanted to compare because people always compare white and black. You're never going to get around it. Compare white and black. Mm-hmm. So how do the living arrangements of children vary by race? This is juvenile population. Like I said, this is from 1970 all the way to 2022. So right here, you have white parents, two-parent homes, children that are growing up in two-parent homes in America. And the year 2022 was 75.6%. Great, right? That's amazing. I'm glad that we have this many parents in the home with their children. And you go down here and you go to black and it says 43%. Great. That's a big percent. I'm glad it's at least 40 because it could be lower than that. And in fact, you might think it's even lower than that when having these discussions. And then it went to the percentage of children living with only their mother by race, and ethnicity. You go here and it says 45.6% of black children are growing up with a home with only their mother. And you go down here to white and it says 16.7%. Now, somebody looking at this with their naked eye would say, damn, that is a gap. We need to do something about this. But my mind drifts a little further than that. I'm like, okay, we have, what is it? How many white people are in this country? 1 second. I have the numbers pulled up. I was literally looking at this for a good portion this morning. We have 200,031 white people in this country. Okay. 231 million white people. If I did the math, which is a 16.7% of that 231 million, do you know what I would come up with? 38,576,999. Okay? That is almost the size of the black population. So that many homes in white America are headed by a white woman. But we don't have that conversation or that discussion. I then was like, okay, let me look at the opposite side. What is the number here? If we do 45.9% of black homes being headed by a single mother, that is 18,819,000 children, or roughly, these are rough estimates, right? Because we don't have the actual numbers. We're just doing it based off of population of people who are potentially living in a single parent home with a mother. Why is it that we only discuss the black? And then I start talking to Mo, and I'm like, listen, I get it. When you are a small population, your numbers show any drastic change, and not even a drastic change, but anything is going to do this. It's going to fluctuate no matter what you're talking about, especially if you have a small sample size. 41 million compared to 231 million is small. It's a minority. Whites make up 75% of this country. So if your single parent homes are the same size as the black population, then why do we only have specific topics about black people? Why do we do that? Because when I'm looking at these numbers in totality, we're being unfair with how we're judging each race. This does not take accountability away from any black person. For people who are going to say that, well, you don't want to hold them accountable. Yes, I do. I come from this population. I know what it's like. Of course, I want them to be held accountable for the things that they do. But we should also be having honest dialogues about why we discuss these things we do.
Oh, Lord.
You're conflating per capita to a raw count. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. All I'm doing is finding the percentages. And I don't know if you're talking to me or you're talking to Uncle Said, because he said about a 2-1 ratio. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm not conflating per capita. It's not what I'm doing. And either way, the question still stands. Both races are having this immorality issue, but we only like to focus on one side. And I don't get it, because there are several things plaguing this country, and it ain't just people with black skin. Our children are under constant threat. They're not safe because adults like to do nasty, disgusting, perverted things, and black people don't show up for that. We show up for homicides, violence, robberies, but when it comes to grape, and CP, we don't show up for that. And we also don't have a race-based discussion when we talk about sexual violent crimes. We don't do that. Why is that? But we want to attach a color to homicide. So all I'm doing is asking why. Why? I agree with you, Greg. The number one problem in this country is broken homes, but we only talk about one group of people having broken homes.
Yeah. What we're saying is that we don't highlight just broken homes. And I explained that to Soonie because it sells, right?
What you brought that to the forefront of my mind, because I wasn't thinking about it that way. I was not. The one thing she said, and Christine said the same thing, black degeneracy sells. And then I was like, damn. So it really doesn't matter. Entertainment, black degeneracy sells. Politics, black degeneracy sells. Sports, black degeneracy sells. Mm-hmm. Why, as conservatives, the ones who are trying to disrupt the narrative, are we benefiting off of black degeneracy?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I'll give you a perfect example. Okay. Cardi B has millions and millions of subscribers, billions, maybe even. What's her name? Sexy Red, billions. Okay. There's a family. I can't remember their name. They're a black family. Actually, the wife is white. Okay. But still, husband's black. They have 15 kids, a gorgeous home.
Oh, the Collins kids?
The Collins kids, right? She stays at home. She's a housemaker. Nothing too exciting other than the fact that it's amazing they're able to do all that with all the kids that they have. But they don't have the subscribers that the Cardi B's and the Sexy Reds and anybody else that we like to follow because it's entertainment for us, right? It's content for us.
Yeah.
They're not popular. Because I told Soonie, I was like, if they want to put like a regular medium family income, full home, black mom, black dad, ain't nobody gonna be interested in that.
No. And this right here is what I'm talking about. It's most devastating because we're a minority. It's devastating to any community. It is devastating to a white community to have that percentage of children, that many kids potentially growing up without a father. They have children, which doubles that number every generation because we continue what we're taught. Why focus on this community, especially when you're doing nothing to fix it? You can tell people the problems all you want, but until you give them the proper tools to get themselves out and you actually sit and have conversations with them, all you're doing is spouting numbers, which means nothing to someone who is in that current situation. They don't care about your statistics. They don't. It's not even in the forefront of their mind. You want to know what I was worried about growing up? How come I don't see my dad? How come everybody else has a dad, but I don't? That's what I grew up thinking.
Yeah.
How come my dad doesn't live with me? I grew up angry, mad at the world because I didn't have things that I felt I was due. Even as an adult, I was still mad at the world. Do you really think I gave a crap about your statistics? Or you telling me about the New Deal, especially something that I was not even interested in? They don't give a crap. You have to meet people where they are. That doesn't mean lower yourself to their standards. What it means is, let me hear where you're coming from. I don't have to agree with you. Where are you coming from? Okay, do you ever consider this? Do you ever consider that? We used to have the Boys and Girls Club. We used to have Big Brother programs. We used to have summer leagues when I was coming up. Most of the boys and the girls that I grew up with played basketball in the summer. Everybody hung out with their coach. You know, I know it's getting unsafe to do things like that, but that's how it was when I was growing up. You had people around you that were able to go higher than you were. That still was, they were trying to meet a need to get you there. But both sides have thrown their hands up. The people who left have thrown their hands up. I'm not helping with you. You don't want to listen to me. So you figure it out by yourself. And the other side is just as frustrated, like, you're looking down on me. So what would I listen to you for?
Mm-hmm.
It's a multifaceted issue.
I wanted to address this comment. So Greg said, how do you get them out? De-incentivizing increased subsidy for father absence. So
it's not how you do it.
Well, this was kind of going back to what Vivek was proposing, is being a single mother is the new it career for women. So what incentive is there to have a father around? You got all these women saying you don't need a man. You could do it yourself. The baby daddy, having multiple baby daddies, is the new Birkin bag, is the new Gucci sunglasses. It's like seriously, it's like a claim to fame. How many baby daddies you got? And it's not just black women. There are white women doing the same thing. Hispanic women. Hello, my people. They love to have babies. They got baby daddies too. It's a little bit more frowned upon in the Hispanic community to not have the father around and not marry the woman that you knocked up. But it happens. And even if they do marry, guess what? The men like to cheat. So they go have babies elsewhere. I'm just saying.
I don't know. We have to have honest discussions, and we have to have nuanced discussions. We can talk about the general things that are true, but if you're not willing to go past that, then you're not having a real conversation. Charlie Kirk is not having a real conversation. Charlie Kirk is pushing an already set narrative and bolstering it by saying, I am in fear of a black person getting behind the wheel in an airplane because of DEI, and completely ruling out that these men and women have to have prerequisites to even get there.
I agree, Greg.
And let's be honest. How many men and women are happily married? Ooh.
I don't think you can find an honest poll on that one.
Just saying, it's a question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
How many of these kids that are in the system come from a two-parent home?
Mm-hmm. And
it's more than just
home.
Exactly. It's more than just two people being married. You have to have two parents that are on the same page about how they're raising their children. You can't just slap, get married, and all will be fine. It's far more complicated than that.
True. These are discussions you're not seeing anywhere else. So subscribe to Somewhere in the Middle, Greg, if you haven't already, because this is what we do. This is what we do. We ask questions. We engage with you guys for the reason of the discussion. We love the discussion. We love the back and forth. And we
just think about what I've said here. I'm not asking anybody to just eat up what I'm saying. You can go fact check all this. I pulled up the website. This is a government website. These are children in their living arrangements in America from 2022 and beyond. All right. Back in the 1970s, single white mothers were at 7%. 7%. Black people were at 29%. It doubled in the 80s. From 81 to 82 was a 10% increase. 7% increase, roughly 4.
Mm-hmm. That's huge.
And it's fluctuated since then. It went all the way up to 54%, dropped down to 48%, went back up to 51%. It actually went up higher in 2016, and then it dropped down to 45% in 2022. So I just want to have a nuanced discussion. Listen, if anybody is watching this, whether you're watching it live or you're watching after, and you would like to challenge what I'm talking about, and you want to have that nuanced discussion, I am here for it.
It probably
I will go get the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
I'm just saying, I will sit and find the actual numbers of men and women in this country.
Oh yeah, she will.
And we can have a whole discussion.
This is what she loves to do, is find the numbers. You know, I bet you the 2022 drop because of COVID. You know, people were social distancing. That is true. You know, so
there's other factors.
Yeah,
there's other factors. You guys missed the good parts of this show. Go back and watch it. If you're just tuning in, go back and watch it. Please challenge anything that we've said here today, because I like to have different people on to have discussions like this. There's not many people who are willing to do this. Everyone is in love with their own opinions, and everyone loves to purport false numbers when it comes to statistics, bro. Like,
yeah,
it just drives me mad.
By the way, I don't know. Do you have to go right now?
Go ahead. I have a few more minutes.
Oh, okay. I just
Like
want to
5
say
minutes.
that stupid fucking video with Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro. Can we just stop pretending like that? That's an AI image of Ben Shapiro. Like he didn't go to a studio with Tom McDonald and record that. You guys know that, right? I'm just saying, I'm just like, why are we even highlighting this? People are like, this is fire. No, it's not.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And y'all called Loza corny for doing that. So keep the same energy. Because he had Drake and 21 Savage and all those people in his videos that were AI generated.
Yeah.
And y'all called them corny and gimmicky. But now Tom McDonald does it. And you're like, ooh, look at Ben Shapiro and Tom McDonald.
Right.
Stop the cap.
That was actually Ben. It was so trash. I don't think so.
I don't know what it is.
Did Ben
I just simply said, why are you doing collabs with Canadians? You have rappers right here in America that are far better than he is, and we're not collabing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't watch it. I didn't listen to it because I don't care to. I'm not supporting Tom or Ben. I'm not giving one of y'all the view with them to post it to your page. And you're going to force me to listen to it, aren't you?
No, look at what Ben posted.
Okay.
I have officially made hip hop great again.
See what I mean? It's okay for you to it's okay for you to criticize hip hop, but then it's okay for you to benefit off of hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like, whatever. I don't even give a crap. I'm gonna get emotional about this because I really despise this man.
Yeah. I don't think he even has the video. Does he have it on here? Hold on. I don't even think I'm sharing audio. Hold on. I'm gonna find it for you. I think Julius had it up on his page.
It's a mockery, bro. These same phrases that you make fun of and call unintelligent and incoherent and lazy speak, ghetto speak, as I was told, you're now putting it in a rap song. Homie, no cap. I thought people with brain power didn't speak this way.
Boys and girls, they can't cancel my message because I'm the biggest independent rapper in the whole freaking world. Claim that I'm racist, yeah, right. I'm not ashamed because I'm white. If every Caucasian's a bigot, I guess every Muslim's a terrorist. Every liberal is right. I don't want to talk to folks who don't get it. Go woke, go broke, no hope, it's pathetic. Pro-choice, pronouns, pro-love, you're progressive. But you ain't pro-gun, no wonder protected. Where the American flags at? Remember when people would hang those? They've been taken down, they all been replaced with BLM flags or a rainbow. This ain't rap, this ain't money, cars and clothes. We ain't...
Wait, I want to get to the Ben part. Here we go.
I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can cry and you can scream. You can riot in the streets. You defunded the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself what would Ben do.
Not even fucking conservative, bro.
What?
He's not even conservative. He made fun of conservatives during COVID. Like, why do y'all keep supporting this dude?
I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on servers and cars. You home to prison. I'm on television. Dogs, no one knows who you are. Keep hating on me on the internet. My comment section all woke Karens. And I make racks off compound interest. Y'all live with your parents. Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people download this. Let's get a Billboard #1.
This ain't rap. This ain't...
All right. Oh, Soonie shady, man. She took those things off. She was like, I don't want to hear it. Shady.
So what? You're not gonna denigrate hip hop music and then go benefit off of it and be like, my pockets are fat like Lizzo. Nigga, fuck you. That's how I feel.
Well, you guys, I really wanted to get to talking about the border and Nostradamus and how many times World War III is invoked.
Stay on. I just have to go.
I don't want to do this part by myself because it involves you, because you made this funny when we started talking about Nostradamus. But we'll do it next time. It's not a big problem. I just want to say, you guys, stop with this World War III stuff. Like I get what's happening at the border. It's pretty awesome that the original states that signed up, to join the Union are, backing Texas. That is great. I hope they keep these illegal aliens out of my state. But stop with the World War III thing, because we don't need scare tactics. We can talk about this situation without invoking fear in people that World War III is about to pop off. Okay. I'll leave it with this. The last time we were actually in real danger of World War III was the Cuban Missile Crisis, and that was in the 60s. So since then, we've been saying World War III, and it hasn't happened yet. Now, the reason why Nostradamus came into play, because Nostradamus actually said he predicted that the probability of World War III would be in 2023. So I'll just leave it at that. Come to find out, Nostradamus looks like he might be a brother. Okay. Leave it up to the black man to predict World War III. Y'all said he couldn't fly a plane, but he's good enough to predict the future. You guys have a happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Real quick. Sorry. Housekeeping. Okay. Soonie is off to the mountains, the 31st. So are we going to do a show on Tuesday? The 30th, or you're gonna be real busy?
I'll probably be busy.
Okay, so no show next week. Soonie's going to the mountains. I'm going to Colorado, and I will be back on Tuesday, February 6th, with Jerron, who was on our show the other day. He's going to be our new part-time third co-host. Every other Friday, but he's going to join me on Tuesday. And will you be back? When are you coming back?
The 9th.
The 9th. Okay. Should be back on the 9th, but I don't know. She's going to be up to doing a show. She might be tired. So we'll play it by ear.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Somebody requested me say Nigadamus. So I said Nigadamus. It's Friday. Have a good weekend.
Bye, guys.
Patriotic summer, high school margaritas just to